Hey everyone, so this video we're going to be talking about the VEVOR 12 kilogram melting furnace and forge. Now this unit I picked up off of VEVOR with my own money for about 270 Canadian. VEVOR is not sponsoring this video at all, and I'm just got this a couple of days ago, so I haven't used it fully extent to give a good full long-term review, but this video I want to give a quick view on, just open box and how it is using it for the first time. So I hope you guys enjoy. So today I have the VEVOR Propane Melting Furnace. This is the stainless steel 12 kilogram crucible size one. They do sell it in a 6 kilogram one, but the reason why I went with the 12 is because the 12 actually allows it to be turned sideways to be used as a forge. Now, that's one thing I wanted to try out, and that's why I went with the 12 kilogram as opposed to the 6 kilogram. So basically a rundown of it, it comes with your ceramic insulation wall. It's 30 millimeters or about an inch and a quarter, I believe, for the body of it. Now, the lid, it actually is a little bit thicker. Not by much, but it is a little bit thicker. I didn't measure that, but what? I would almost say it's about 2 inches or 50 millimeters of insulation on that. Also with it, it comes with 2 burners, and let's see if I can show you this. The one burner, this is one burner. It is 2 millimeters thick pipe, and it's been laser cut or plasma cut for the holes. Now, one thing I will mention on it, it does not actually have a choke to go over, so it should be interesting to see how that works out. So like I said, 2 burners, and there's just a propane manifold with shutoff for each burner, and it looks like it's just ones that you have for your oxyacetylene torch that actually goes into the pipe. It also came with fire bricks. It has a small fire brick to go on the bottom when you're using the crucible, as well as a larger fire brick to actually put on the bottom of the unit when you're using it as a forge. Like I said, your 12 kilogram crucible, so it's actually quite a good size. Refractory cement to coat all the ceramic before burning. A cheapy brush to apply the refractory cement. A pair of tongs to pick up the crucible. They're just really cheaply made, but they probably will do the trick. And then you have your regulator, your propane regulator. It's just your, cheapy, kind of like deep fryer regulator. So, yeah, should be interesting to see how this works out. So first up, I'm going to get the refractory going and get this hole coated with cement, and we'll go from there. Now, before playing with your ceramic wool and the refractory, you always want to wear a respirator. Safety glasses is probably a good idea, and some disposable gloves. I know, you probably already heard this from many other people, but I should say it. Okay, I let the refractory sit overnight just to air dry a little bit. And now we're going to get set up for the curing of it. So the burners just slide in the top here. And there is a little tiny line on these burners. And I'm assuming that's how far it's supposed to sit in. And then the manifold just slides on here. And there's this little thumb screws that you tighten up against it. One thing I'm just noticing now, this nut on the end of the regulator to hook up into the manifold, it actually doesn't swivel. I would have expected that to be a swivel connection, but okay. And then the regulator just simply hooks up to your barbecue tank. I personally would have preferred the one that goes inside the barbecue tank as opposed to the ones over top, but you know, it is what it is. And then this is just soapy water. Oh, I probably shouldn't do that right over. And I'm just making sure there's no air bubbles coming out. And we look like we have a good connection. So apparently you need to use both burners. So I was just letting that get heated up a little bit, and then I'm gonna let it cool down, and then we'll fire it up for a second time. So I've done a couple of cycles now, and it should be fully cured. So I'm thinking let's melt some aluminum. Ooh, fire brick first. Yeah, we got molten aluminum in there. Very nice, very nice. Woohoo. Okay, so I let it cool down. Now we got it on its side. Gotta put the fire brick in for the forge. And let's get it fired up. Okay, so basically with the forge, able to get to forge and heat within, 3-4 minutes at 15 psi, and we got welding heat probably around 7 minutes. So not too bad, especially seeing that it's a big opening at the front. Now I couldn't figure out how you would use the lid. I have no idea how you would use this lid to keep some of that heat in, or if that was even thought of. I have an idea, but that'll be later. So for my forge, it works. You can't control your air intake because of the lack of chokes. So that's one of the downsides with this unit. There is no choke, and I don't know why they didn't build that in, especially seeing that you already have some screws here that you could tie into. Other than that, the refractory cement, I felt that I could have used a little bit more to cover everything. I did get everything coated, but there's some spots that I would have liked to go a little bit thicker, and there is some of the ceramic wool still showing. So I might go over that later with some more refractory. Overall, for $270 Canadian, I'm okay with it. The regulator I had no problems with while running the forge at 20 psi's. With the foundry, no problem with the regulator. Now, I'm running on a 30-pound tank, so if you're running on a 20-pound tank, you might freeze out your tank before you get all done. So overall, it's not a bad budget foundry forge. You're looking at something that's in the $200, $300 range. This is not a bad unit. If you're on a budget, you want to just start out. One thing I will say is this unit is probably best in a bigger area than what my shop is, or outside. With it not having a door in the front, it puts a lot of heat out here, and it increased about 15 degrees Celsius within like 7 minutes. So probably better to use it outside, or if you have a big shop. If you're on a budget, I'm assuming that you're going to be using it outside. So overall, yeah, for 270, I'm okay with it. There are some tweaks that I would like to do. Like I said, the chokes, that I think is going to be easy. Just getting some tubing that will fit around here, putting a little slot in it to hook up into these screws, and then you should be able to adjust it okay. As for using the forge, I would like a door on it, and I have an idea where permanently mounting the top on with a couple of bolts and then nuts here, and that way it can actually swivel up and down, and also still be usable when you're using it as a foundry, where it can just slide up and down. Overall, it's not bad. Are there better foundries out there? Yeah. Are there better forges out there? Yeah. Yeah. So I'm okay with it. For a budget forge foundry, yeah, I'm happy. So hope you guys like what I showed you and hope you learned something. You'll see this again in future videos. Don't worry.